Hello, everybody. This is Ebony Combs. I am a speaker and consultant. It's a pleasure to have you here for 3 Keys to Professional Communication. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. If you are watching this by replay, thank you for watching. And please share with your tribe as well who you believe would need help with professional business communications. To give you just a little bit about me before we get started, my background is human resources. In fact, I wrote many policies, procedures for companies, large brands and smaller businesses. I continue to do that in my own profession, my own company. And often I see a lot of Facebook posts. I receive emails. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now? That I'm not muted. Let me know before I keep going. Just let me know if you can hear me. Thumbs up, thumbs down on the volume. Can you hear me now? I want to make sure we're not frozen here because it's showing me that the audio is good on this end. Sierra, can you hear me? Let's see. I don't want to keep going until I know for sure that you all can hear me because I've got some really good stuff that I want to share with you. So just let me know. Someone give me a thumbs up. Type in the comments that you can hear me. Just want to make sure that we are all on the same page. Can you all hear me? I'll type that in here before I move on. Oh, you still can't hear me? Goodness, I don't know what's going on. Hang on just a second. It's got my volume up. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Hang on 1 second. I don't know what's going on and why you can't hear me. Oh, man. Okay, let's see. You guys let me know when you can hear me. Not sure what's going on with the broadcast. I may have to start over. Still no audio. Goodness. Let's see. All right. Okay. Guys, tell me if that helped at all for me to put this in. Can you hear me now with the headset? If not, then I'm going to have to start the broadcast over. Can you hear me now? Yes, okay. I don't know why it's never done that before, but that's okay. Glad you can hear me now. And I will go ahead and start our intro after I catch my breath because my home studio is upstairs. So I have to run downstairs and come back. So excuse me for the beats on my head, but I want to make sure you guys can hear me just fine. So, whew. Okay, welcome again. Just to give you a little bit of background on me, my name is Ebony Combs. I'm a public speaker and consultant with a human resources background. So that is the reason I'm coming to you today with 3 keys to professional communication. I have been responsible for writing company policies and procedures, as well as our company-wide communications. So I have some knowledge in this area that I want to share with you because I have received so many emails, inboxes, text messages, even when speaking with people that are not professional. And for some reason, there's this homegirl, homeboy mentality going around, which I don't understand. You do not get to have casual conversations to conduct business. So that is who I am. Welcome to the broadcast. I'm thankful that you were patient with me and this broadcast, the technical difficulties. So grateful. So I want to ask everybody, where are you from? Introduce yourselves. Where are you tuning in from? I'm in Texas. I'm a native Oklahoman, but I live in Texas now. So that is where I'm broadcasting from, in my home studio, as I told you. And I love to do these type of live webinars so that people can knowledge share, so that I can knowledge share with you and we can all grow together. Because sometimes I believe that maybe you just don't know, but when you know better, you do better. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sharing this with your tribe. Thank you for just being a supporter of my brand. I don't take that for granted, but I want to teach you how to treat me and how you should treat others as far as business communication. Oklahoma City. Hey, Sierra. Thank you for tuning in. So our first key, and I'm going to break this down to you, but the first key, please make sure you note this, is know who you're writing to. The first key is know who you're writing to. Ebony, what do you mean by that? That means you greet them properly, just as you would in day-to-day, face-to-face communications. When you say hello, when you ask, how are you doing? When you ask them, how's your day going? It's no different with an email. You should definitely, you're welcome, Sierra. Thank you for being here. You should be addressing whomever you are writing to, texting, whatever the case may be. If it is a professional communication, I'm not referring to your casual conversations. I'm not talking about conversations between you and your family or your friends or your loved ones, whatever you want to refer to them as. I am referring to professional communications where a product, service, something is going to be exchanged in the business sector, whether that's with an entrepreneur or whether that's with a. And while we're on that, I want you to know there is no difference in how you should treat an entrepreneur versus a large brand, $1 million brand company. And oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we face people who feel like you can have the homegirl, homeboy mentality, speak to us any kind of way, expect things from us that you don't expect from corporate. You don't expect corporate to be open all day. They haven't set the expectation that after 9 to 5, sometimes 6, you can contact them, or 8 sometimes in the morning. Then don't expect that from an entrepreneur unless he or she has made that clear in their communications. Many entrepreneurs will tell you how to treat them, and you should treat them accordingly, not some euphoric attitude that you may have regarding what you think we should be. We should not have to stay up all night for you to respect us. You have to know the realities of entrepreneurial grind. And what you see on TV and in the magazines is not necessarily true. We are running businesses as well. So no, we're not just sitting by our phone waiting for you to call. No, we're not sitting there checking emails when we're trying to work on a product or service. We are servicing our customers. The same way that you give 24 hours, 48 hours to a company, you should give that to an entrepreneur. So I just wanted to put that out there. But it's important for you to know who you're speaking with and addressing them properly. You need to know their name, what their role is within the company. This is still key number one, but these are some sub bullets that I want you to know. You need to know their role, their name in the company. If you're not sure if he or she is, or for females, if you don't know if they're, you need to know how to address them. It may not be Mrs., it may not be MISS, but you can always put MS and it won't be disrespectful. If they are a PhD, you need to address them properly. Say Dr. such and such. Oftentimes, if you go look at the website and previous communications maybe that they've sent you on their Facebook, social media profiles, people will tell you how to address them. And my signature, I have MS behind it because I have a master's. But people don't address me Master's Ebony, right? That's not even proper. But if I see someone has a PhD, I will address them doctor, as doctor, right? You need to know how to address these people. If you don't have their name, then you can say to whom it may concern. Yes, it is very, kind of where you didn't really do your homework, but it's better than you saying, hey. It's better than you just starting off your first sentence. You want to say to whom it may concern, or to the Human Resources Department, or to the Brand Me Global team. You want to make sure that at least they know you put some effort behind meeting them in that communication, whether that was the email or some type of social media post. So know who you're talking to. If you're not sure specifically who you're going to be speaking with, then you address it to the company itself. Did y'all hear that? If you're not sure about who you're speaking with directly, perhaps this person has an executive assistant that you're not familiar with, you don't know their name, then you need to put on there to such and such team or to blah, 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 Z, fill in the blank, but address the email properly. Never, ever, ever start an email out with just a sentence and just their name. So don't just say Ebony, comma. I know a lot of you do it. I see it every day in communications that I receive, and it makes my skin cringe. I like greetings, and most professional people will. So say hello. It does not hurt you. Now, if you all are going back and forth in exchanges of emails, you don't have to sit there and call and say hello to me every time, especially if I'm responding to your email. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is initially, in your initial correspondence, it should say, hello, Ebony. I hope all is well. Or how are you today? Happy Monday. Some type of I care about you. And yes, I'm maybe emailing you for something, but I want you to know that your well-being, your day concerns me, right? So then if we're exchanging those emails, all you have to do is say Ebony, comma, at that point, because we've already greeted each other. You've already told me hello. So that's my first key. Know who you are and address them properly. Know who you're speaking with and address them properly. Number 2, the key is be intentional in your communications. Ebony, what do you mean by that? You've got to know your ask. You can't email me and say, hey, what's up? I was just thinking about this. Or, you know what? Facebook has this new thing going on. Did you know about it? Okay, what's your intention? Are you asking me because you like for me to train you on a certain platform? Are you asking me to go and evaluate your brand? Are you asking me about something? Or are you just trying to casually mention it? Don't casually mention anything in emails or any type of written communication. You've got to be clear and concise of what you want, how you want it. You direct that conversation. You navigate it. It's your email. You're the GPS. You tell me how to help you. Right? So even if you don't know all the tools in which I'm going to use to help you and get you there, even though you don't know all the tools that a business or an entrepreneur will do to help you, you've got to let them know what it is you want. What are you asking for? Stop sending these blind emails of, hey, by the ways, and get real about what it is you're wanting from that person. So you've got to be intentional in that communication, know what your asks are. And the best way to do that is with bullet points. Because for me, I'm an entrepreneur and I do a lot of things on my own. So I don't have the time to read paragraphs. I don't. So if you're asking me to walk your dog and you need it done on a Wednesday and you need it done at 5 p.m., for example, your email needs to look like this. Hi, Ebony. How are you today? I've got a quick favor to ask you. I'm going to be out of town and I need help with walking the dog and seeing after the dog. What that help looks like is semicolon, bullets. Walking the dog on Wednesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Making sure the dog has 1/4 of a cup of food and 1/2 a cup of water. And let me know if it's bottled water or tap water. Making sure the dog is walked by leash. Making sure that I know where the doggy bags are. The doggy bags are located in this drawer, top left of the curio cabinet. In closing, I really love for you to help me with this. Hope my instructions were clear to you. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Paul Love, Betsy, whatever. Do you see how clear that is? I already know what you're asking me for. I know how you like for me to do it. I know when you want me to do it. You've provided me with the resources that you have, whether there's limited or not. But I know exactly what you want from me. And you've said hello to me, so I don't feel used. Stop sending business owners emails where they feel used. Just stop it. Stop sending them ones where what you want is more important than their well-being. What you want is more important than the other clients that they're assisting. Get in line and stop having the expectation to think that they're going to put everyone else off because, oh, your golden email came through. Your golden text message came through. Your golden direct message came through. I know business owners who don't like direct message, and they've been clear on not liking direct messages, but they continue to receive them. And then those same people complain that they didn't get a response. Well, he or she told you, don't direct message me. This is how you contact me. You need to pay attention. See, Sierra says she hates them, and she's not alone. Unless I am clear with a client that I say, hey, email is going to be, I'll have it shut down for a little bit because I'm on vacation, but I know you and I are working on something that's time sensitive. I'm going to be contacting you through Messenger. But understand, when I return from vacation, we will not communicate through direct message. You'll need to send me emails. I don't in my business accept text messages because they get lost. That signals, do their own thing with phone companies. Sometimes I don't even receive them. People say, oh, well, I sent you a text. Well, I told you to communicate with me via email. So you need to be intentional in your communications, but you also need to understand that business owners have clear expectations as well, and they've communicated them to you. All we ask is that you respect them. So your first key was know who you're addressing and address them properly, greet them. Your second key was be intentional, know your ask, and use bullet points, clear and concise. Number 3 is showcase your intellect. There is nothing more attractive than an intelligent man or woman. And the way you show me that you're intelligent is, yes, and sent me to her. Yes, she will redirect you. And I think that is the most proper thing to do. She's very clear on how to communicate with her. So kudos to Sierra. She runs a tight ship and a lot of people may not like it, but it's called professionalism. You don't get mad at Mac when they tell you they're closed at 9. You don't get mad at them when they tell you that this is the price point before we can do a full face or you need to buy this many products. You don't get mad at Nordstrom for closing the doors on you at a certain time. And you don't expect them to be there till midnight unless they're having some anniversary sale. So why do you have different expectations for entrepreneurs? I will never be able to understand that. So showcase your intellect. It is very, very important that you do this. And this is how you will do so. Because we want to showcase your intellect, not lack thereof, right? So how you do that is through language. Oh, Y'all, if you're following me, if we are friends on Facebook, you know that I have been posting about language, grammar, proper sentence structure. I am a geek when it comes to that. I have taken honors math, honors English, AP English all my life. Like, this is what I do. I love it, right? So yes, there are certain times when I'm more lax in my communications when I'm with my friends. And my mom used to have this running joke of, oh my goodness, you would think you didn't go to school or all that education. She makes those kind of comments, but she also knows that I can turn it on. And my biggest pet peeve is incorrect grammar and word usage. If you would like for me to delete your email before I read it, yes, Sierra, I get it. It's professionalism and it's totally acceptable. And more people should realize that. You have to be consistent. And if you want this caliber of services provided to you by an entrepreneur or a corporation, you've got to understand that this caliber of work goes into that over and beyond. So you can't ask someone to, give me a private service. Focus on me when I'm with you. But then you want me to sit there on my phone and do this the whole time and say, oh, well, here. And then your eyebrows up here and you're mad. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So you need proper sentence structure, grammar, punctuation, sequencing. I need you to have an introduction. I need you to have a body and I need you to have a closing. That has not changed. That is the bare bones of writing an email. Okay? Bare bones, intro, body, closing. However you want to get that in, you do it, but it has to be that way. Okay. Those bullets are part of your body. That thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration is part of that body. That hello, that greeting. How's your day? I hope all is well. I hope you had a great weekend. That's your introduction. None of that has changed. It's been the same since you were in K5. It's going to be the same when you're 85. So stop being careless in your communications because it's not professional at the end of the day. Next. So as a part of the third key, showcasing your intellect, language, proofreading. Thank you, Raven. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Yes. Intro, body, close. Intro, body, close. It's 3 parts, IBC. And I teach this to my daughter because I refuse for her to write terrible emails and say she's professional. Even today, I'm teaching her that. She's 10 and I don't care. Look, English is important. Sentence structure is important because for me, someone who, I don't expect you to be, this genius in certain areas because everybody's gifts aren't the same. But for me, sentence structure, English, clear communications is extremely important. So when I see an email or receive one that is botched, that has, misspelling in it, it lacks punctuation. The grammar is terrible. The your versus you are, your, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E versus Y-O-U-R are there as in T-H-E-I-R or over there, T-H-E-R-E. Those kind of things bother me. And so I will respond to your email, but sometimes that is the make or break in a situation with me where I'm like, you can't get this right, then we shouldn't probably work together, right? So proofread. Yes. Yes. Sending half-ass emails it's just not okay. It's not. So you need to make sure your sentence structure is correct. You need to proofread, have a trusted colleague or an advisor review your communication before you send it. If that's what you need to do until you get the hang of things, until your comfort level is different, take a business writing class, a business communications class, or go and learn from someone who that's their lane. Find an English teacher who will work with you on the weekends. Whatever it is, do what you need to do. Lastly, 5-minute rule. Oh my goodness. I used to teach this to my HR teams who helped me with writing and would send out these company communications. I would have them send it to me, proofread it after they've written it for my HR assistant. And then once we were done with that, I went over it with them and I said, let's take 5 minutes. Let's all step away, walk away from your draft, especially if you are sending a response that maybe, yes, Google Templates is great as well. It'll set it up for you and all you have to do is fill in the blanks. So especially if you're writing an emotional response to something, if someone sends something to you and there's a little friction there, you want to make sure you walk away from it, because all caps is improper. You're screaming. To highlight something in red is improper. You're mad. Like, you need to know business communication etiquette, right? There is a difference between what you send to your friends and what you send in business communications. So part of that etiquette is not typing in all caps. If you want to emphasize something, bold it in lowercase letters, italicize it, underline it. Yes. Raven says, my parents always told me no contractions in emails or professional letters. Pet peeves, I need to find a professional writing class in Oklahoma City. Yes. Our business professional who this is what they do. They write the corporate communications. They can help you find a mentor. There's no excuse for anyone to send out bad business communications, because that's the reason why I wanted to do this training as well, so that I could just kind of highlight some of the things that are basic in business communication. So the 5-minute rule is a good one. If you are sending an emotional response, take 5 minutes, come away from it and say, is this sentence structure proper? Am I saying this where it won't be misconstrued in my email? Because look, written communication is left into the interpretation of the person who's reading it. It is not your interpretation. It's not your intention. It's exactly how they read and receive it. So you want to make sure that you're careful and sending a communication, especially if you're using all caps, especially if you're using red. I'm going to take that as you're angry, you're yelling at me. Now, if you're excited and it's an exciting subject matter, then I understand the all caps, because I'm going to be excited with you and I'm going to say, oh, she's lit. She's on fire for it. And I'm excited about that. But understand, once you send an email, you can't take it back. The recall button is not your friend. That function does not work. That means I see that you recalled the message and I still choose if I want to open it up. So don't rely on the recall button. It'll get you in trouble every single time. I've seen it thousands of times. I have employees who, yes, your students are enjoying this. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with them. I have actually worked in a company where an employee who was disgruntled sent an email telling us all off, sent it to HR, and they tried to recall it. Well, I opened it anyway, and I seen it, and I had to terminate that employee. So, you got to be careful. Being an entrepreneur, I find that sometimes I have the tendency to take things personal because, well, it's a passion that's personal to me. Knowing this, I will take a full 24 hours sometimes to respond to emotionally charged messages. Sierra, that is a great practice. A great practice. And I totally get it, because as entrepreneurs, we put so much heart and soul into it. It's us. We make the decisions. We take the falls. We are celebrated. So it's this emotional kind of roller coaster to get what you mean as far as, having to take that backseat to that email for just a little bit, even if that's a whole day, which is why I tell people, 24 to 48 hours is a great time frame for you to receive a response back. Yes, you can't rely on the recall button because it is not your friend. The recall button will get you in trouble every single time. I promise you. I've seen it way too many times. I've had to terminate employees, unfortunately, because of it. And it just isn't fun for us HR professionals. And so when I would write communications in our world, I would say, hey, here's our policies. I need you guys to understand that, if you are to the point where you are frazzled in communications, that you feel like you aren't able to handle certain parts of a communication with a team, that you probably should just walk away from it and say, I need some time, right? You shouldn't sit there and try to communicate with someone you're upset with in written communication, because it doesn't go over well. It looks like you're angry. So I will tell you to be on your best behavior in written communications. Take the time to seek out some help in areas that you are maybe not so strong in. And understand that it's your first impression that counts. And written communications are part of that first impression. All right, so just to recap before I go, 3 keys of professional communication are: know who you're talking to and address them properly. So Raven says, I love the practice, currently taking notes. I've made the mistake once of capitalizing a word in a frustrating email. I did not even think about bold instead. I'm very glad. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. That's what this is for. You are so welcome. My pleasure. What I will tell you, Raven, is just to find you a mentor and to pay attention to communications that you receive from professionals on those. Make sure you're paying attention to how they're addressing their audience or how they're addressing you in a communication. Okay, so let's see. Recapping. Be intentional is number 2. Number 3, show your intellect. And that means proper sequencing, language, sentence structure, vocabulary. You want to follow IBC, which is intro, body, conclusion, right? That's the bare bones of communication. That should be all you need, right? So yes, know your audience, address them properly. That's basically what you have to do. You can't take that for granted that people are looking to you to have best practices in your business. And don't separate the two when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to corporate behavior, how you treat a corporation versus an entrepreneur, because a lot of times the entrepreneur is going to be very passionate about what they're doing. They're going to, be hands-on with it because there's not so much red tape, right? So know that, oh, not a problem, Sarah. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. I'm about to end here in a second anyway, but I wanted to recap, especially for my replay viewers. If you are just joining us, I'm just teaching you the 3 keys to business communication or professional communication, period, in general, to know that you should honestly know who you're talking to, address them properly with the sir, the miss, the madam, to whom it may concern, or greetings even, knowing who your contact is. That is so easy with a simple Google, going to the company website. It'll tell you who you're going to be sending things to, but you have to be consistent. You have to have best practices within your business, and you have to make sure that you are showcasing your intellect. That means that's the time for you to show off. That is the time for you to say, hey, my intellect, I'm intelligent, I'm bold, I'm brilliant, right? So you show that to someone who has not met you by saying, I know how to form a sentence. I know the proper usage of this word. I'm not going to put a possessive word in place of, saying, for example, I put this up today on my page where it was, this is your dog, showing possession. How are, let's see, another sentence. So this is your dog, that shows the possession of Y-O-U-R. Then I've seen you're blessed, and it's still Y-O-U-R. Now understand, you want people to own the blessing, okay? I get it. You want them to understand and own the blessing. But the proper way to tell them that they're blessed, you're blessed, as Y-O-U''R-E. The apostrophe, quick English lesson, replaces the A. And those 2 words, they come together. Now the apostrophe marries them, right? So you got married to R, and then they got together, made the apostrophe. Honestly, that is how I teach my daughter a lot of language rules, right? Because you have to keep it simple. Like, I use the KISS method in everything that I do, and I would encourage you to do the same. It's okay. Sometimes we have to, for lack of a better terms, dumb it down, and it's okay. So I wanted to just share that with you based on the communication, that I've received, those that friends have received, colleagues have received, things that I've learned along the way. Being in HR, human resources, for those of you who may not know what the acronym stands for. I don't like using acronyms and not explaining it. Yesterday, I did a video on AMA, which is Ask Me Anything. And so that was just where I was open book and people could pose any branding or social media questions to me. A lot of you don't know that I have the HR background. It's a passion of mine. I love helping people, and I was able to do it professionally for over 10 years. And I love business communications. I had to write them for several companies. And I see now that there's a need for professionalism and to teach people how to be professional, because I receive so many unprofessional and tacky email communications, text messages. Stop texting business owners unless they ask for that, because record keeping is not good. That's another whole nother, video for me to do with you all. But I wanted to do this one. So recapping one more time before I go, know your key number one, know who you are talking to, address them properly. Number two is be intentional in your communication, know your ask and the level of it, be clear in that, use bullet points, clear and concise. Number three, showcase your intellect. That means language, sentence structure, vocabulary, proper sequencing. You need to have that in the body and the closing and the intro of your emails. If you have any questions, my name is Ebony Combs, public speaker and consultant. You may reach me at brandmeglobal@gmail.com. That's BRANDMEGLOBAL@gmail.com. Brandmeglobal@gmail.com. I love to meet you. And if your email is tacky and unprofessional, I will let you know. No caps, no red letters, and make sure that you're greeting who you're writing to. You all have a wonderful day, and it's been a pleasure training you.